Greetings everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We're back with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Really appreciate everybody who's been taking the time to watch these videos and support me, liking the content that I'm doing and commenting on it. It's definitely been a blast. Appreciate each and every last one of you. I feel like my playthrough videos are reaching a new baseline. It used to be when I would put them out, it would get like, 100 views, maybe 200. The first one always does really well and then it kind of trails off. But it seems like I've reached a new baseline where I can expect that it's going to get 200 to 300 views for every playthrough video that I drop. So slowly but surely, I'm definitely seeing the type of progress that I want to, and I'm getting a lot of reaction from the community to let me know that I'm on the right track. So thanks again. I'm definitely seeing it. I definitely want to make sure I continue to provide you all the kind of content that you're going to enjoy. So looking forward to continuing with this playthrough. Let's get into it. We just picked up Ember, so we're going to go in here and then do a little bit more in this area before we get out of here so we can run and get the cleric, or rather the oracle. That
we are the light.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Are the darkness.
The hidden area. Below, you can hit a swarm with a regular weapon. I actually never bothered using this. Okay, so I didn't realize that using these cone abilities was literally the only way to hit them. Okay.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Might be trap, might be treasure. Okay. We're gonna try this anyway. Oh, it works. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, that's the one. Whoops. Oh, and she's second, so she can't do anything. Great. Not cool.
No glory without
really?
Risk.
Let the attack
Excellent.
commence.
Excellent. Woo. He's already got 4 attacks. Yeah, this is kind of working for me. All right. With that. Come on. An incomplete magic circle for a summoning ritual. And actually here, usually we destroy it, but we're a demon. Let's bring in one of my friends.
I did it. It happens sometimes.
Clever mortals. I can't reach you from inside this circle. Oh, but you forgot something. There's nothing keeping me in here. Nothing at all. All right, we'll deal with you.
My tail is twitching. Must be a sign.
I hope you appreciate this. I am helpful. Am I not?
All right. And let's see. Actually, no. What does this do? Dexterity damage. Yeah, we'll go ahead. By the way, I'm not going to be particularly diligent about keeping my hotbar updated this playthrough, because there's a bug where every time you reload the game, there's a potential that it's going to just change out a bunch of things on your hotbar. So it's not actually worth it.
Did you see that? Can we retreat already?
Go. All right, you. Just gotta walk up no matter what.
stop!
Let's communion.
Go for their hearts!
Oh, there's two of them. Nice. Very, very nice. Oh, lovely. This is not a good, this is not good strategy on my part. I messed this up. By the way, it's the reason why. Where is this? Boom, boom. Enable turn. Oh, whoops. That's why I feel so slow. There we go. Save. Okay. Let's see how long this stuff stays on there. No, 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 of course.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
A little closer. All right.
Die! Die! Die!
Excellent. Okay.
Cover me, all right?
Excellent. Hit the other one. Oh, you already hit it twice. God dog it. Oh, well. Excellent. Good enough.
I'll cut you wide open!
Excellent. Keep that going. We'll save. It's not the end of the world.
Into
Not close
the
enough.
flame.
Ooh. Good enough. All right.
You can trust me.
He doesn't need that. And here you are.
Quickens.
Is it you who summoned me? Allow me to repay you. Okay,
I'll rip you apart.
that worked. Oh, that's right. Arcanus. Oh, it still has old Spirit Hunter stuff, though. Works for me. I remember this fight being kind of tough, so I'm going to do both of those. We'll save. Oh, well. We tried.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Excellent. You're chaos, right? Hey. Excellent. Ooh, was that 49? Good girl.
Burn, slice, behead. Yes, behead. They'll beg me to stop.
Alright. Oh, why is it already?
The spirits
Yep.
demand your blood!
Come on, girl. Seriously? I don't think we can do that twice. What is vulnerability to energy? That's not really doing anything right now. She doesn't
Surrender,
have that
or
many
else!
There we go.
Distract them from me.
Decent. Oh, come on. Oh, well.
The light, take you.
Nice job, Sela. Glad at least you're still with
No
us,
match
window
for
up.
me.
Oh, but you missed the first time.
Time to share your treasures.
Good enough. Good enough. All right. That could have went much worse. So he kills the guards that were over here. But if you don't bring him back, then there's just some little bugs that you clear out, and then those guards also survive. Fascinating. But since they're dead, it allows me to loot their stuff. Interesting. That's interesting. All right.
Trail me.
My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it? Such foresight is laudable, but do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance, fighting demons or clearing rubble, while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? The face of this golden-curled Asimir is beautiful even by the standards of his kind, in whose veins run the blood of angels. His melodious voice sounds cheerful, but bitter reproach simmers in his gaze. Don't you dare call me brother, heretic! The signs of recent, hard fighting are obvious in this stern old man. His armor is dented and covered in blood, and his unnatural pallor suggests something more dangerous than wounds inflicted by claws and fangs. Nevertheless, his gaze is stony, and his voice, accustomed to barking orders, is harsh and clipped. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect this city? Especially now, when followers of your temple were caught committing treason. To my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you have long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe and good from evil. That's what happened with my adepts, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city. And yet again, I am forced to repeat myself. While we are wasting time on pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble in our city. People whom we could have saved if you had only set your soldiers to the task and not kept them here, surrounding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless? Well, if it's your say-so, then that must mean that there is someone down there. Your associates, no doubt. And they're just waiting for us to abandon our post before they slink out and try again to... The old man notices your approach. And you. I remember you. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Terendelev died. What are you doing here? Answer at once, or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think that the demons have wounded me. I still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. And what is this hideous creature? Hulrun peers at Windowog with suspicion. The huntress shoots him an icy glare. We call ourselves the Nethers. Our forebears bore the brunt of the demon's first strike. In thanks for their sacrifice, you sent them into the catacombs. But now that the demons are mauling you in the streets, you need allies, even hideous ones like us. Windowog pointedly spits on the floor. Mongrels? Descendants of the Crusaders? A feral specimen, no doubt. You obviously know human speech. Surprisingly well, in fact. All right, let's be off with you. The prelate looks at you. If she causes any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. Who are you to be asking me such questions? I find it passing strange that you don't already know who I am. Horrock Shapak, prelate of Canabras, inquisitor by the grace of Iamade, defender of the city by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey against threats from within and without. And as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting the city. The golden-curled Asimir flashes a flinty smile. I am Ramien of Edme, prior of the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Hulrun here believes it is vital to guard this hole in the ground, from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I have been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There may in fact be one matter that is more important than guarding this hole. I've put it off, and look where it's led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkorians had hanged Areelu Vorlesh while they had the chance, there never would have even been a war. I won't repeat their mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum! Prelate, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial? That is unworthy of a servant of Iyamade. The old man fixes his eyes on Sela. Lest you forget, girl, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iyamade, and I won't question yours. What precisely are you accusing Ramien of, Inquisitor? Treason. Not long before the city was attacked, several followers from his temple tried to secretly access the ward stone and perform an unknown ritual over it. Hulrun is trembling with fury. The ward stone of Canabras, the gift from Iyamade, the bringer of light, wrought by the hands of her herald, the first in the chain. And followers of that crazy runt of a goddess try to meddle with it using their magic after hearing a voice in their dreams. My soldiers almost had them caught when Ramien got in the way, allowing the traitors to go to ground. I made a mistake. I didn't have him locked in a cell and interrogated to within an inch of his life. And now the city lies in ruins. It's time to rectify that mistake. I've told you before and I'll tell you again, my people foresaw the attack on the city. They knew the ward stone already carried the seed of corruption within itself, and they were simply trying to heal it. I've heard similar claims before. Now, where was it? Ah, yes, from Staunton Vane, the traitor who brought down Dresden. The lessons of the past have taught us a great deal, and that is why I never believed you or your mob's lies even for a second. And I was right. Chaotic. No, I really don't care, so say nothing. Ramien looks at the prelate. You're a fool, Hulrun. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the ward stone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the ward stone, and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it. And now you would still rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit that you were wrong. As always, with a wave of his wand, the Aasimar vanishes. Beast! Heretic! Traitor! He slipped away again! The prelate stamps his foot in outrage, then turns his eyes on you. What about you? Whose side are you on? If you want me to believe that you're no cultist, go and recapture that traitor for me. Or perhaps you want to defend him. In that case, my soldiers don't need to be told twice. I see you suffered greatly in battle. Nonsense. I had to deal with a brood of Nabassus. It was nothing. I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. Nabassus, also known as death demons, have the ability to drain their victim's life force. Judging by Hulrun's pallor, he has also a significant amount of his energy. The Inquisitor can bluster as much as he wants, but right now he's far from the peak of his abilities. Nabassus? This prelate is mighty, sure enough, but a strong predator is tired and spent after defeating a rival, and he becomes tempting prey for smaller hunters. But smaller predators, in turn, should ensure that they do not choose a target that is far superior to them. Weakness can be deceiving. What would a city girl know about wild predators? I was educated at home. my studies were most rigorous. Why are you obsessed with finding enemies everywhere you look? Why? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into your favor and masquerade in all manner of false guises. Do you think Dresden was taken by force? No, by trickery. Were it not for me, Canabras would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then, and I had just joined the Crusade. Back then, Canabras didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare. Anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in, and why not? For no one was ever turned away. 'Twas no matter. Everyone's welcome in our city. If you came from Mendev, or if you'd hauled yourself here from across the sea, the Crusade accepted all and sundry. But on this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed towards the wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared to go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all. So they threw the blood from afar, splattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, an eyeless beast, Monago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been sitting ducks. And the creature was right too. We let our guard down and got what we deserved. That bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the town folks' memories. Since then, Canabras has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted Areelu's glory, we drove them all out of the city. We haven't had any trouble here since. Many have come here, even the Baylor Koramzada, and they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for their trouble. You see, Deskari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here. The goddess cursed him in order to break through our defenses. And what did he do? He left again, and we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. Ramien really warned you about the attack? Those crazed Desnans were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie. Sometimes what they said did come to pass, but can we really rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold, hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Mr. Curls for Brains came to me and declared that demons were about to attack the city and that the wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. I am a day forgive me for even repeating the words. After uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up along with his followers and interrogated. But instead, I simply increased the surveillance on them. And what next? My people were caught, them red-handed, trying to attack the wardstone with unknown magic. And not 3 days later, the demons attacked the city. There's an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, the Desnans played right into the hands of Deskari's hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenseless. Ramien covered for his people the whole time and helped them escape my guards. After that, what else can he be but a traitor and a heretic? There's nothing dangerous in this hole. You have no reason to guard it. I won't hear another word. Demons are hiding underground. The proof is all around you. The demon spawn that tried to crawl out can't harm anyone now. Wait, you're trying to lure me away from here, aren't you? With narrowed eyes, Hulrun scans you from head to toe. Perhaps you are a cultist too. Want to help your friends underground, do you? Well, you won't fool me. I won't take a single step away from here. And if you keep talking nonsense, I'll have you strung up for treason. Where can I find Ramien? How should I know? The weasel can't have gone far. He turned invisible. He's probably hunkered down in some hole, like the traitor's little rat he is, and he'll be sitting, trembling, and waiting till he's dragged out of there. With the prelate after you, that seems the only sensible thing to do. This is what I do. I have to go. Go on then if you have to. It would be good if you could return with the head of that scum. Ember peers intently at Hulrun. I remember you. When Father and I arrived in the city, you met us. What is this gibberish? As if I have nothing better to do than arrange meetings with vagrants. But it's true. You and the other knights tied us to stakes and started lighting the bonfire. Father died, and then one of your knights changed his mind and pulled me from the flames. But then he died too. Don't you remember? If you were burned, then it was with good reason. You say some traitor helped you escape from the fire? That is a crime in itself, which means that you have been evading justice all these years. If it weren't for the invasion, I would review your case to see that your sentence was finally fulfilled. You're lucky that we have more important matters to deal with right now. He didn't look the way he does now, all wrinkled and gray. He was young, with a big mustache. Ember smiles broadly and draws a large bushy mustache in the air with her finger. He probably forgot all about me. It was a long time ago. But I do want to say one thing. I'm not cross with him. This knight is a true hero. He just really wanted to protect his city. Only he got all mixed up about who was good and who was evil. Hulrun, you sent an innocent child to be burned at the stake? Don't you want to ask for forgiveness? Hardly. Anyone can look innocent. How did this girl manage to survive the fire? And what about that crow that's always flying around her? I advise you to take a closer look at this innocent little lamb of yours. If you ask me, she looks highly suspicious indeed. You forgave him after what he did to you? He thought he was doing what was right. How do you know? Maybe you've done something thinking it was a good thing, but you're really doing a bad thing that hurts someone. But what if I've done the same thing? You can't get angry at people for making mistakes when you might be no better than them. Ember, stop talking nonsense. The girl obediently puts her hands over her mouth. All right.
Where do you want me?
They will break against our resolve.
Do. All right, now we're truly at it. First you.
Cover me, all right?
There we go. Excellent. You hit him. Walk out a little further. Make sure you can hit all of them. Ooh. Cleric. There's two clerics. Unfortunate. What's coming up next? Excellent. You walk up a little bit more in case you need it.
You are today's sacrifice!
Not quite enough. Well,
The inheritor, guide my blade.
You on the ground. Good enough for me. Boom, 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 boom.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Well, I should have. Well, no, it doesn't matter.
I'll rip
There we
you
go.
apart!
Ah, that's the second one. Oh, Bane. Lay down, lay down.
Go for their hearts!
Excellent.
Into the fray.
Excellent. There we go. There we go. Play one. It's hard to believe that this place recently held a bustling and festive market. Day 17, month Gazran, 4th, year 4710. The demon invasion transformed all of Canabras into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans, the Demon Lord Deskari leading his hordes from the abyss, and the dragon Terendalev, the mightiest of the city's defenders and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment simply by looking at the ruins. From the chimneys torn down by powerful wings in a sharp dive, to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins. It is Asmodeus IV, and he is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place. Like a gaze untethered from any observer, this mysterious force unknown to mortal kind silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Asmodeus IV is vested with this power and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole, an unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendor. What past does he see? In the past exists the one who wielded this gaze in life, although the one and life are in opposite terms for aeons, the supernatural embodiments of cosmic balance. Rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. This Aeon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the Worldwound, the chasm disrupting the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Deskari back to the abyss. With one swing of his scythe, the Demon Lord cut the Aeon down. What present does he see? Ruins, blood, corpses. None of this perturbs the Aeon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive. The dead will be judged by Pharasma. All is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals. The demon's place is in the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even the demons aren't as horrid as a sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the Aeon's eyes, its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Aeon still existed, they would not stop until the crystal was unmade, but the Aeon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Asmodeus IV picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. What future does he see? Good and evil, chaos and order. Everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls, from life into death and back to life again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the Aeons withdraw the eternally admired beauty, which will never be threatened again. After allowing the hero to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the destroyed Aeon is killed, even appropriate here for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them, used up its last vestiges of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness, unless someone decides to preserve the Aeon within themselves. Will the hero take on this power so that he may again look at the world through another's eyes, or will he allow it to vanish? Requires Aeon Mythic Path. Retain the Aeon's power within yourself. The spirit of the Aeon dwells out of sight, deep in Asmodeus' the Force soul, like a pair of magical spectacles stowed away until the moment when the hero once again needs to look at the world through another's eyes. Close.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
And there we go, part 1 of becoming an Aeon.
Let me draw the first blood.
Boom, boom.
No glory without risk.
They'll beg me to stop.
God dog it.
The inheritor, guide my
Good.
blade.
Oh, but it's not it. Oof. Some of them, and of course he's diseased now.
Too late for apologies.
Boom, boom.
Distract them for me.
I'll cut you wide open.
Wait, you got, oh. I was about to say, this same one got another turn, but
May
no.
I
I
see your entrails, please?
was about to say, don't miss all 4 of them. Come on now, bruh.
Into the fray.
Oh, Seela, we need to get you some more attacks, girl.
No match for me.
I'll hit you.
Time to share your treasures.
Go.
A bright future awaits us.
All right. These people were not killed by demons. Their mortal wounds were inflicted by ordinary weapons.
This way.
Enemies up here? There are.
They'll beg me
Save the
to
last
stop.
one for me.
Excellent.
The spirits demand your blood.
Cover me, all right?
Excellent. Same deal? Yeah. Come on now, you serious?
You are today's sacrifice.
He's still standing. God dog it. Hold on.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
Excellent.
You won't stop us.
He stood up, evaded the attack of opportunity, and still hit her. So annoying. Despite all the city's troubles, the statue of Iomedae towers proudly over the street. All right, that's a place we need to go, but we're not going to go there yet. Come back. Watch it, watch it. What are you goons doing? You'll bloody crush me. A young tiefling lies trapped in a collapsed section of tunnel. Another 2 tieflings scramble around trying in vain to free him from the rubble. Quick, whining. Hey, alarm! Someone's coming! Maybe he will help us. Wise up, would you, before you get us killed? Let's make a run for it while we still can. No, come on, don't leave me. I'll die here. Like a crushed louse, Windowog wrinkles her nose. Let us leave this place, master. This pathetic creature is not even worth spitting on. Hey guys, I see you're in a bit of a jam. Get a load of this lot. No escort neither. Well, if you little shit, how are you not dead yet? And who's that with you? They're friends of mine. Great guys. Walter turns to you and, out the corner of his mouth, says, listen, do me a solid. Help them drag his sorry carcass free. They'll repay you. Cross my heart. Who are you? Who? Us? We're nobody. Just simple citizens. We used to live here, but now, yeah, we just lived our lives. Didn't do anybody any harm, and then kaboom, the place fell about our ears. The Thieflings look scared but sincere because I failed a perception check. Evil, what will you pay for my help? We ain't got nothing. Poor as trust mice we are. Psh, left your money at home, did you? Well, I've got my money pouch in my pocket. It's all yours if you get me out. All right, I'll help you. Failed. Clearing the rubble pools is a bigger challenge than expected. By the time you finally free the trapped tiefling, you are ready to collapse with fatigue. Whew, I'm alive and all in one piece, give or take. Thank you. I'll remember your kindness for the rest of my life. The free tiefling turns to his companions. Hey, you two clowns, I don't want to hear a word out of you. Get into the tunnel now. One trip, just to the Great Garrison and back. Don't be a coward. It's not going to collapse. Go, or else we came all this way for nothing. That ended well, didn't it? Whoosh, not now. Talk later. The tiefling eyes you and elbows his chatty companion in the ribs, causing him to double over in pain. Sounds very suspicious to me. Come clean. Who are you? All right. Don't hurt us. People call us the Thieflings. Well, we kind of skirt around the edges of the law. That's how we make our living. Some say tyrant bans books that show... Some say some tyrant bans books that show stuff he don't like, or fancy iron and wine he don't drink. Is it wrong if we step in to fill the gap in the market? If there's a demand for it, someone's got to sell it. Don't go thinking we're gangsters or anything. Our only concern is making the lives of citizens easier for a little coin. People in the city can't even breathe without breaking some stupid regulation or restriction. Take this tunnel that collapsed on top of my friend, for instance. It leads straight to the Great Garrison. Thanks to it, any soldier whose throat's feeling a little drier and who's needing some nighttime reading material, we can get all the things for him that his heartless superiors refuse to. We're providing a public service. I helped you. Now you can help me and Commander Tirabay to save Kennebrus. The militia needs people with various skills, even ones as unusual as yours. You what? Are you blind or something? The tiefling points at his horns and his tail. Know what people call us? Areelu Spawn, and that's one of the nicer nicknames. Crusaders and tieflings don't mix. We'll be torched on sight. Whoa, Tirabay? Tirabay from the Eagle Watch? Lads, we have to help her. She's one of the only big shots in this town that actually treats us with any decency. Why should we risk our necks for the Crusaders? Because Erebeth risked her neck for ours. She saved me from that creep Hulrun. Yanked me straight out of his torture chamber. Only a worthless toe rag would refuse to help her out after that. Nah, I'm not listening to any more of this. Tiefling makes a show of covering his ears. You do what you want. I'm heading for the River Kingdoms. Go on then. I'm going with the Crusaders, and I'm going to round up the others to help. The tiefling smirks. We've made some good money in the city. It'd be a shame to surrender our meal ticket to the demons. But enough yammering. So long. All right. I am the answer, but what is the question? I still don't think you can solve that riddle yet in this game. Or rather in the beta.
Now what is that?
A rift in earth left by Deskari's massive scythe. You and your companions fell through it during the attack. Judging by the size of the bloodstain, the body of something truly enormous was dragged over these stones. Terenda most likely. Thank the gods I found someone who isn't fleeing in a panic. Are you Crusaders? Mercenaries? The comely half-elf is so frightened he can barely get the words out. I am a servant of Count Derean, Kale, Nevis, Arende. My lord's mansion is under attack by demons. The master himself and all his guests are trapped inside, and the house guards are nowhere to be found. I managed to escape through a servant's passage to look for help. Will you help me? The mansion is only a stone's throw away on the next street over. He meets your gaze with pleading eyes. Count Arende. I have seen him a few times before, from afar. He looked highly audacious. I confess that he did capture my attention, but that's neither here nor there. We should help him. The gratitude of a rich and influential man can only benefit us. You have heard about the Arende family before. This wealthy and noble Mendevian dynasty was almost wiped out by demons more than 10 years ago. The last surviving member of the family, the young Count Derean, has an infamous reputation. He is well known for being a rake and a rogue. Misfortune continues to dog the house of Arende, I see. The servant cringes. You're telling me everyone tried to talk me out of taking up the position, saying it can't have just been bad luck that brought tragedy down on the family and almost killed off the line. But I reasoned that since my master was the only one to survive that calamity, that meant he must be blessed by fate and the powers of good. The pay was nothing to sniff at either. The servant cast his eyes around the street. I should have listened to people smarter than me and gone to work somewhere else, preferably far away from Canabras. Tell me more about what happened. I'll tell you what I can. I was working from dusk till dawn and back to dusk again, serving guests at the Count's banquet. When the other servants came to relieve me at my post, I went to sleep. Next thing I know, I wake up and there are demons inside the mansion. I couldn't even reach the Count. The monsters had blocked the way. The Count's banquet was still going on. He and his guests were in the great hall, and as far as I could tell, the door to the room was sealed and the demons couldn't get in. I'm begging you, hurry. The mansion's doors are sturdily built. The demons will have to work hard to get past them, so you still have time to rescue the people inside. What will I get if I help this Count of yours? Demanding a reward for fighting demons? That is dishonorable. And foolish, too, since demons are the enemy of each and every one of us. Today, we selflessly help someone to thrash the demons, and tomorrow, someone else will help us. I'm sure the Count will reward you handsomely for any rescue. All right, I'll help. Where's your master's house? It's not far at all. You're better off entering from this next street over, through the passage I used to get out. Help, I'm begging you. I hate to think what the Count will do to me if I don't bring back help. All right.
No secrets can escape my prying gaze.
It's back here. The golden curled Asimir greets you with a graceful bow. So, you found me. I have nowhere else to run. I am at your mercy. Kill me if you wish, but I ask you, hear me out first. Did you really know about the demon attack before it happened? I did. We have a secret ally in the enemy's ranks. No one knows who this brave soul is, but she has been feeding us information about the demon's plans. These dispatches have come to us by the most reliable channel bestowed upon us by the great dreamer herself. They have come to us in dreams. Prelate Hulrun brushed them off as meaningless reveries, and, well, I admit that it isn't always easy to distinguish our allies' messages from ordinary dreams, but even ordinary dreams are gifts from Desna and are always worthy of attention. The prelate, and all the Crusade leaders for that matter, should have put less store in reason and more in intuition, inspiration, and spontaneity. The longer this coward blathers on, the more I want to give in to inspiration and spontaneously knock his teeth out. What's more, not long before the attack on the city, a blind elf who calls himself the Storyteller arrived in Canabras. This wanderer wasn't merely a collector of legends, but a scholar of the unknown. According to him, the Wardstone is in our city, the first and most important in the chain of Wardstones, weakened since long ago, was teetering on the brink of corruption. It seems that the Red Morning Massacre and other demon attacks, even the ones we fended off, did not leave us unscathed. Unfortunately, the prelate did not wish to listen to the storyteller either. We're lucky he wasn't burnt at the stake as a heretic. We had such vital information on our hands, information that could have saved the city, but no one cared to listen all the way to the catastrophic end. Not all dreams have benign origins. What if those dreams were sent by demons? In a different time and place, someone perhaps could have become the victim of false dreams sent by monsters. But here, in the war with the abyss, the goddess is keeping a close eye on our most faithful followers. I have no doubt that if a demon tried to intrude upon the dreams of any one of us, Desna's punishment would have been swift. Tell me about the strange rituals that were going to be performed on the wardstone. Ramien looked slightly abashed. When my attempts to open Hulrun's eyes ended in failure, a few of my young adepts resolved to take matters into their own hands. They did not consult me before doing so, but I have never demanded iron discipline from my priest. Army commanders may have subordinates, but I have pupils and fellow worshippers. I can only inspire them. I cannot command them, and it seems they were inspired all on their own. They had no ill intent. They only wished to access the wardstone in secret and try to cleanse it. But to Hulrun, this became perform a suspect ritual after hearing even more suspect voices in their dreams. The children wanted to save their city, but the Inquisitors detained them and almost killed them. I had to intervene. I used my authority and my power as a cleric to give them a chance to flee. If they hadn't got away, they were destined for a cell in the prelate's dungeons and, quite likely, death. Why are you and Hulrun feuding? Oh, I'm not feuding with him. I sincerely wish only the best for the man. In an ideal world, he'd be far away from the front lines, enjoying a peaceful retirement. But even if that isn't possible, I have always tried to help him fulfill the mission he has taken upon himself, and to which he has proved fatally ill-suited, protecting Canabras against the demons. Unfortunately, he is convinced that the followers of Desna are heretics and saboteurs. He refused to listen to me, and it was only the knightly orders that deterred him from including us in his witch hunt. Now there's clearly no one left to stand in his way. He's finally free to get rid of us once and for all. Is there a chance you can resolve your conflict? I don't know. Hulrun's faith is truly formidable, not only his faith in I Am a Day, but in his own infallibility. In other words, he's as hard-headed as a rock troll. But even so, Desna teaches us to never lose hope. Talk to him. Try to explain that we are fighting on the same side. If he attacks you, disarm him. Bind his hands, but I beg you, if at all possible, please do not kill him. Why haven't you left this place for somewhere safer? Because people might need help, and they will come to the temple in search of a priest. I will not hide away in a hole, saving my own neck, while Canabras is full of people suffering in the wake of the demon's attacks. I have to go. Wait, 3 of my adepts are hiding somewhere in the ruins of the city. The ones the Inquisitors wrongly accused of treason. I beg you, find them and protect them against the demons and vigilantes like Hulrun. They will not rest until they find them. If there's anything else you could do to save Canabras, please do it. Stranger, wait! You spared Ramien despite what that mad Inquisitor told you. The young voice comes from nowhere. Oh, hang on, I forgot to remove the spell. I hope Hulrun's dogs aren't lurking nearby. A pale youth materializes before you. His face looks haggard from lack of sleep, but he is clearly pleased to be speaking to someone. So you're one of the Desnan adepts that try to break into the wardstone? Yes, I am Ilks, cleric of Desna, and one of the people who answer the call of the voice in dreams. Some unknown person made contact with us through our dreams, telling us about the demons' plans. We learned that the demons were planning to attack Canabras and do something terrible to our wardstone, which already carries the taint of corruption. Prelate Hulrun refused to heed our warnings. We had to make a choice. We could either throw up our hands and pull back, or take action, even though it would cost us our lives. But what heartless person could stand by in the face of such a deadly threat? What were you planning to do to the Wardstone? The young man hesitates. Our plan was to get to it and then follow our instincts. There were 3 of us, a cleric, a mage, and a bard. Between us, we know a lot. We're capable of a great deal. If we'd had enough time, I'm sure we could have figured out what's wrong with the Wardstone and how to heal it. But they didn't give us time. Yes, the local commanders got roped into dealing with this. Some idiot kids trying to break into the Wardstone, apparently some of ours. But who even knows these days? Sela sighs. I know there's no evil in you. I can sense things like that. But what you did was so stupid and impulsive, someone could have got hurt. I know from experience. How did you even come up with such a plan? How could we not come up with that plan? You sense the young man's temper rising. Listen, Desna is the goddess of luck, but luck as many lay people would understand it, and luck as we, the followers of the music of the spears, see it, are far from the same thing. Other people believe that luck is something good that falls into your lap just because, like a generous but unearned reward. We see luck as a fundamental law of creation, according to which even in the darkest hour of the most hopeless situation, a chance of rescue and change for the better can arise. But you've got to seize this chance when it presents itself, or better yet, create your own. Followers of Desna are not people who like idleness and inaction. That's why when Canabras was in trouble, we did as our goddess had taught us. We took the matter into our own hands and tried in a moment of desperation to pluck our chance from the hands of fate itself. You were trying to help. Can they punish you if you were trying to help? Is that allowed? How could a zealot like Hulrun become the respected defender of Canabras? His faith is strong, incredibly strong. The people of the city have seen him fighting on the front lines time after time. I myself remember feeling dumbstruck the first time I saw that gruff old man slaying demons in a fit of righteous fury. The people living on the edge of the abyss need protecting more than anything else, and that's why they are prepared to forgive their protector almost anything, even prejudice, paranoia, and the death of innocence. Leotor, known as Hawkblade, he's a witch hunter too, but a good deal more rational and even-tempered. Hulrun trusts him completely, and Leotor always conducts a thorough investigation before dragging the victims to the fire. It's our bad luck that Leotor left Canabras in pursuit of some particularly vicious hags 2 weeks before the attack. If he were here, he wouldn't have let Hulrun attack Ramien. On the other hand, if he were here, we wouldn't have escaped after trying to get to the Wardstone. We'd all be in a cell right now. Whose voice have you been hearing in your dreams? Nobody knows what it is, but everyone who has heard her, is convinced that she is a good and pure soul chosen by Desna. We had a choice. We could trust her, accept that we have an ally somewhere who isn't afraid of all the armies of the abyss, or we could drown in suspicions and get one step closer to becoming just like Hulrun. We decided to trust the voice. And seeing Canabras devastated, which is what our unknown ally tried to prevent until the very end, I can see now who had the truth on their side. Where are your fellow worshippers and how many of them are there? Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know where they are. We split up to confuse the inquisitors who were chasing us. Do you need help? Desna teaches us to trust in last-ditch chances. Listen, my friends are called Arenka and Thal the Wallflower. Arenka is an amazing singer and a truly beautiful girl. She has plenty of friends and fans. She's probably blended into a crowd somewhere. Wallflower is a mage, but I don't think he'll risk using magic. It will only bring the Inquisitors down on him. He'll be harder to find. You'd better find Arenka first. She might know where Wallflower is. Please, find them and protect them against the demons and the Inquisitors. I will await news in the goddess's temple. I hope our mysterious helper will send us a new message that will reveal what is to come from the demons. I have to go. Go. May Desna be with you, stranger. All right. 2 new quests. And that's all we need from this area.
No reason to pause.
Now, let's see what's going on with Derean. I find it much more tolerable to go through this area with someone who has healing as opposed to trying to clear the whole thing the first time you get to it. And there's no time restraints that require you to deal with it all immediately. So, no reason not to.
Wherever my legs carry me.
What do we have here?
Loot. 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 Perception checks failing. None of them are going to succeed. We're just all failing our perception check.
Forwards! No, backwards.
That's unfortunate.
Backwards!
I'll roll back around here in a minute.
Wearing a robe? Check. Baphomet symbol around the neck? Check. Crazy eyes? Check. Note to self. Bring a mirror next time to be able to adjust the optimal level of eye craziness. Everything is ready for the experiment. An audience. Problematic, but not critical. You there, boy. Stay out of this. It is counterproductive to stand in the way of scientific progress.
Who are you calling boy?
Who's that? I don't know her.
Greetings, boys and girls. I am your sister in sin, a devotee of Lord Baphomet's dark will, and so on and so forth.
She looks like one of us, but she talks kinda weird. Who's there with you?
Who? Oh, them. Just an audience. They don't matter. Consider them a supplementary component of the coming experiment.
Shrug, remaining silent.
In the name of our Lord Baphomet, please be so kind as to undertake a little test of your competency in our wicked cause. Let's start with something simple. So here's my first question. What is Lord Baphomet's favorite weapon?
We will not answer to you.
Our lord can wield any kind of weapon. He is all-powerful.
Wrong. He wields no weapons at all. He doesn't need any. He just gores his enemies with his horns.
Stay silent.
These answers are wrong. The correct answer is Isergal, a glaive made of red adamantine. This experiment has taken quite a surprising turn. I would never have expected the followers of the great Baphomet to be baffled by such a simple question. Fine. Let's recalibrate the difficulty and proceed with the next question. Please name Lord Baphomet's sacred animal.
A bull. Of course, everybody knows that.
Yep. And a cow.
Stay silent.
None of your answers were correct. The correct answer is an aurochs. It appears the experiment has yielded results which are as unexpected as they are incredible. Baphomet's cultists have not the slightest idea about who Baphomet really is, let alone any in-depth knowledge of his ideology or philosophy. I'm positive that this news will cause a sensation in widest scientific circles.
Damn it. She's right. I'm a shitty excuse for a cultist. And my mother used to tell me to become a plowman.
Hey, take it easy. We've only had 2 questions. You there, come on, ask another one. We'll get the next one.
Ask them some more. They might still manage it.
Is there any sense in continuing? You cannot answer the simplest of questions. I am ashamed of all of you, as cultists and as individuals.
Please, ask again. I can answer. I'm sure I can.
How do you spell Baphomet's name?
B-A-F-A... Oh, screw it. To hell with Baphomet. I thought it was gonna be fun, but instead there are all these questions. I'm done here. I'm going back to my home village, back to my mother.
Hey, wait! You there! How dare you stir up discord in our ranks? Grab her and tie her up, and her entire entourage too!
The experiment is complete. Unable to deal with the questions, the cultists decide to deal with the examiner instead. A typical reaction for a person who has never been burdened with any intelligence. Now you're gonna start hitting each other, aren't you? Please, proceed. I won't interrupt.
You can handle them, right?
3 of them. Excellent. Okay. Better.
No
Hey.
match for me.
Really?
Go for their hearts!
There we go. Oof. Fortunate. Saving throw succeeded. Oh well.
All I see is blackness. Distract them from me.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
They'll beg me to stop.
Excellent. Come on. How you missed that attack of opportunity?
Surrender or else!
Standing right in front of him.
Let the attack commence. Time to share your treasures.
Excellent. The absence of an answer is an answer too.
The result is statistically predictable, especially considering their intelligence level. What about you, boy? Are you ready to answer some questions for the good of science? Let's proceed with the experiment. My first question is simple. Which colors does the goddess Iomade prefer?
You're absolutely convinced that the correct answer is red and white. Who are you? What's this all about?
I am the one asking questions here. Answer them, and then I'll satisfy your curiosity.
Red and white.
This answer is correct. It is comforting to meet at least one educated person in the melting pot of ignorance that is Canobras today. Let's proceed. Did Aeon take part in any crusade before he died?
You don't know how to answer this question, but you bet you can guess. After all, you've only got two options. No, he didn't.
Your answer is correct. Aeron's death dates to 4606, and that is precisely the year when the Worldwound was opened. The first crusade started back in 4622. Your knowledge would make Mendev's crusaders proud. My final question is, what is the title that Areelu Vorlesh bears? Is she the architect of the Worldwound, the Lord of the Labyrinth, or the Border Inquisitor of the Shapeless Abyss?
You are positive that Areelu Vorlesh is known as the architect of the Worldwound.
That's correct. Most excellent. You successfully answered all of my questions. Splendid. Amazing. This is a breakthrough. I thank you for your cooperation. It seems to me that I owe you an explanation. My name is Nenio. I am an explorer, a pilgrim, a yet-to-be-recognized scientific luminary, future author of the great encyclopedia Golarion, and rector of all Absalom's universities at once. Future rector, I should say. I also know several spells.
Why do you keep calling me boy? I have a name, you know.
I apologize for an injury to your ego, but your name is irrelevant on the grand scale of the universe. Thus, it cannot possibly interest me. I will forget it as soon as I hear it. To avoid unnecessary confusion, I'd prefer to not know it at all.
Now can you finally tell me what you were getting at with all those questions?
It is so heartening to see you strive for knowledge. I have been conducting an experiment comparing the intellectual abilities of the average cultist with those of the average crusader. And I must admit that you passed the test with flying colors. This does offer a glimmer of hope for the future of Crusade. I have always claimed that despite the popular beliefs about the limited intellectual abilities of those in the army, at least some of them can be considered educated. It pleases me to see that I was correct.
So you're trying to say that I am mediocre?
Yes.
Canobras isn't safe right now. Shall we join forces?
Do you wish to become my follower? To accompany me on my expeditions to the Worldwound? To assist me in my experiments? To run errands for me? Perhaps even to write down my deepest thoughts for the benefit of future generations? Oh, how splendid. Of course, I agree. Truth be told, I have no money to pay you. But you will be aiding the progress of science, and that is its own reward.
If we join forces, you'll have to follow my instructions during our expeditions.
Huh? What? Oh, yes, the dangers and these battles. Of course, I will follow your orders. I place my life in your capable hands, so I can focus on the things that really matter.
I agree.
Excellent. You're hired. To think that I finally found someone to accompany me. 27 Crusaders before you said no. Not one of them saw the undeniable appeal of my offer. Your first assignment is to take me to a safe place. I have to admit that today's experiment has left me quite tired.
Awesome. Okay. Take out Walter for now.
You are my favorite aide.
Nanio is absolutely hilarious right from the very beginning. And she is an absolutely fantastic wizard. Just a great character overall, all the way around.
Trail me.
And she failed the perception check. Really? And this is a random event, so I don't think, God dog it. I don't think there's a way for me to be able to come back. So I'm just gonna have to let that go.
Well,
Boom, boom, boom. And let's go. Excellent. Okay, I think this is a good place to end it. Hope all of you enjoyed the play session today. If you did, please go ahead and leave me a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.